Hi there, Cherry Bombers. It's Neil here again. It's June 8th, 2020, and it's probably time to do something we may not want to do. So if you've been following along and putting on these simulated trades like I've been, you might have had to make a difficult decision last week. So let's take a quick look at our portfolio in the past week and see what's happened. On screen, you can see here the positions that we've put on this past week here. We put on an IWM, we put a Southwest Airlines, we put Alibaba on. We took off the home builders one that totally did not work out for us. I believe we closed the VXX for a profit, and TLT is working against us, but I closed the call side for a profit, and have yet to decide if I'm going to roll it down to the strikes for the put. So we'll see on that one. But the big thing we don't want to deal with, the gorilla in the room, I guess, is UAL. UAL was a strangle that we put on. And if you take a look at the chart for UAL, let me put that in there. Oop, I don't know why that didn't work. UAL, there we are. You see the crazy jump that we had last Friday? Well, you know, if you're like the average everyday person, you put a trade on, you may not always be sitting in front of your computer or have your phone out, right? Some of us have jobs. Then you may not have caught how quickly this blew up in our faces. And with undefined risk to the upside, potential it to go back to where it was, who knows, right? We could have had substantial losses. So you may have done or managed this differently. You may have waited and said, you know, this is a big gap up. It'll come back down, and it probably will. I wouldn't be surprised. But I wanted to stick to the mechanics that I learned with TastyTrade, which is with undefined risk, if you hit 3 times a loss that's 3 times the credit that you receive, that's when you have to close that trade, right? Yeah, sure. Could we have rolled it out in time? But yeah, something you have to consider is like you roll it out in time and wait for it to come back to where we'd like down here. But it could also continue to run away from you. So with hitting that 3 times the credit received we're at loss, I decided it was time to cut that off. So the other trades you see in there is I had rolled the put up. And then since it continued on up, I was able to sell that put again, or I should say, buy back that put for a small profit to help reduce the amount of pain that I felt here. So I wanted to show you here that here it is. There's all my dirty laundry, right? There's that bad stuff. So what's roughly pretty close to 3 times the credit that we received of $244 is the hit we took on that one. So you win some, you lose some. Let's hope the other ones will work out for us. So with that said, going back here, we can see that Amazon's working out for us. There's not too much else that's like looking where I'm at the profit potentials, right? So I have this PL percent here because it helps me follow the TastyTrade mechanics of looking at, well, if I'm at near 50% of that credit, then I'm probably going to close it, right? So I'll keep my eye on this one. This is another thing that could be said as, you know, you check your news feed in the morning on your smartphone and it might say, oh, you might see the financial news talking about how futures are pointing lower. I don't know what they're looking at. These futures are not looking lower. So who knows? Maybe those things that we think would come back down are going to actually go back up today. So it seems, though, and I don't know if I've said this before, that airlines are very much like pharma stocks. They're just crazy moves in short periods of time. Anyone else feel that way? Leave me a comment down below. How did you do with UAL? Did you keep it on? Did you close it? I know many of you, or some of you that put comments said that they weren't putting it on. It looks like maybe it would have been a better Jade Lizard candidate, right? So give yourself no risk to the upside. Maybe I'll consider that next time. But here is to always practicing and always learning. And thank you so much for joining. I hope that you're learning through this as well. I'd appreciate a like down below if you liked it, and a subscription or a ring that bell if you want to get these videos when they come out. So I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's Cherry Bomb. Bye, everyone.